Hi, so we're going to do an example of describing a distribution. So here's our example. 115 students were asked how much sleep they got last night. Here are their responses in a histogram. Describe the distribution. So we need to remember four things when we describe a distribution. Those are the shape, if there are any outliers, the center, and the spread. So for the shape, what I like to do if it's a histogram like this or a dot plot is picture if you put a blanket just over the graph, how it would kind of fall. So it looks like it has this one peak, one higher peak that's higher than the rest. It doesn't look quite symmetric. It also doesn't really look really skewed in one direction. You might want to say maybe skewed right. That's fine if you say that. But it also has this little tail to the left. Since it just has this one peak, I'm just going to say it's unimodal. Unimodal means one peak. And then we want to say where the peak is located. So I'm going to say the shape is unimodal and it has a single peak. That single peak is between 6 and 6.5. For outliers, it doesn't look like there's any outliers. If there were, you would just say that there are. If you're not sure, just say you think that whatever values are outliers. There's no outliers in this graph. For the center, you're either saying what the median or the mean is, and you can approximate those. With a histogram, I think it's easiest to approximate where the median would be. So the median is the middle value in a data set. If there are 115 values total, if I just do 115 divided by 2, that's going to tell me what halfway between 115 values is. So 115 divided by 2, that's 57.5. So the middle number, which is what the median is between the 57th and 58th value. So if I go through where all my values lie, there's one value, there's one data point, it looks like between 4.5 and 5 hours. This looks like maybe 5 for this one. There's 5 values, 5 data points between 5 and 5.5. So what we're doing is trying to find where the 57th and 58th data point would lie. So here's the first 6 data points. It looks like there's another maybe 2 here. So that is 8 data points so far. And then this bar goes up to, it looks like a little less than 60. I'm going to say 59. So the 57th and 58th data point would be in this tall bar because you have 1, then you have 6 data points total. Now you have 8 in the first 3 bars, and then you're adding another 59 data points in this 4th bar. So the 57th and 58th data point would be in this 4th bar, and that's where the median would be. So I'm going to say the median is between 6 and 6.5 because that's where this bar is located, 6 and 6.5. And then a measure of spread could be range or standard deviation. If it's a box plot, you can either do range or IQR. For a histogram, the range is just the easiest to estimate. So the range is the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. So we're going to do 9.5 minus 4.5, and the range is about 5. We're not saying exactly 5 because we don't know what exactly this one data point was at. We just know it was between 9 and 9.5. Same thing down here, it was just a number between 4.5 and 5. So we're just saying the range is about 5. We're just approximating it. And then we want to put everything together in a sentence. So we would say the distribution of the number of hours of sleep these students got last night is unimodal with a peak between 6 and 6.5 hours. The median is between 6 and 6.5 hours of sleep, and the range is about 5 hours of sleep. So we want complete sentences. We don't want just a list of like this, just a list of characteristics. We want a complete sentence, and then we want context, so like hours of sleep. That's the context. That's what this problem is about. So we've included the shape, the center, the spread, and then we don't need to say anything about outliers because there weren't any. And that's it.